Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Magical Leaf Shaymin in the Open Master League. Mine is actually kinda XL, it's not fully XL yet. I could fully XL it if I wanted to, I have the XL candy for that, but I'm going to save my rare XL candy for an actually more useful mythical Pokemon down the line. So I'm always trying to keep around like 296 XL candy in order to make some cool content whenever like we get something like a Zeraora or a Marshadow. But yeah, today we're gonna take a look at Shaymin, which is like my long time project here, as I have already a 100% variant from this one. I got this during the Go Fest in Berlin like 2 years ago, I think, at this point, and I am super happy about this. It's basically the only mythical Pokemon that I have which actually has really good IVs, which is really cool to see. And now we're going to have the move Magical Leaf. Prior to this, you were only able to use either Hidden Power or the Zen Headbutt, which are both horrible moves. So like this, at least we're going to have a move that's kind of useful on this Pokemon. But still, it's not going to be the biggest meta threat either, and we're going to see this in today's video as well, as here at least in the first game we're going to be able to go for full farm now, as you're going to have the stab variant of Magical Leaf here, which is going to do 10 damage and 10 energy for a 3-turn fast move, which is okay, but not really crazy either. So this team is going to be fairly lame, as we're going to have the Dialga as well as our Shando Mewtwo in the back, and yeah, we're going to have just a standard team around it, because I kind of want to have some more play in general against a lot of Pokemon, as Shaymin does not have the greatest matchups against most Pokemon. Also, the moveset itself kinda is bad on Shaymin. Like, I don't have to say anything else about this one, because yeah, we're going to have only grass type moves on this one. We don't really have any bait move. Our bait move is Grass Knot, which is a 50 energy move, which is not ideal at all. And then we're going to have Seed Flare, which I'm honestly kind of disappointed on how bad they made this move. It's still a solid move, don't get me wrong, but like, it's so much better in the main series games than compared to Pokemon Go right now. It's still a hard-hitting grass type move, which can debuff the opponent's defense by 2 stages, which is also very nice. It's only a chance, I think it's a 50% chance or something, but it's just not really that great. And even then, you kind of want to have some kind of coverage at least, where you have like some other different type of a move, and not only grass type moves. But take a look at this matchup here right now. We're going to be able to see the Seed Flare in action, and we're going to get the double defense drop here, which is going to be insanely important for this matchup. And this was our only way of having any chance here, because our Dialga is already so low, but look at the damage output of Dragon Breath. 2 debuffs is going to impact this so much, allowing us to do so much damage against them, but they can still go for the knockout. But our Mewtwo is going to be able to go for a full farm down and win this with 1 HP in a dream. The thing is, for this team in general, of course I'm gonna lose Elo here. Like, of course I'm going to not go positive with this team all the time. I had some positive sets actually with this team, which I was super surprised about. But in general, of course, I'm going to lose a lot of rating here with this team, and I show mainly the good battles with this team. This doesn't mean that this team is amazing and that you should try to build a Shaymin for the Open Master League, but at least we can take a look at some funny games here where Shaymin actually did something, and still there are going to be some losses in this video. It's not only going to be wins, but mainly the games that went a little bit better for me. So don't take this video on the wrong advice where I say, okay, build a Shaymin. No, it's not great, but it's still a lot of fun to play. So let's see if we can get some more knockouts with Seed Flare later on, as we can now go for a Shadow Ball against the opponent's Dialga, which is going to be able to get the knockout against them. And we can now take a look at what is coming in. It's going to be the Reshiram. This is kind of awkward, because basically, my only answer for this is going to be my Mewtwo, as both my Pokemon in the back are either too low or have a weakness against this Pokemon. So here, great play by the opponent, catching the Side Strike, gonna get knocked out. Honestly, it would have been a very bad play by the opponent to do this, actually, if I didn't have a Grass Shaymin in the back, which is just gonna get one-shot by a Fusion Flare. But still, for them at least, it worked out here. So, great catch there, I guess, but like, if it was anything else, like literally any other Pokemon monster, I would have been able to win against Reshiram at this range if you just sacrifice your own Mewtwo like this, but it definitely worked out for the opponent, so congrats there. We're going to have a Rayquaza against us here in the lead, which is going to be very decent for us. Actually, it's going to be a little bit closer than I kind of want to, but we're going to see the swap out into the Mewtwo, as I can now stay in and catch the Side Strike onto my own Mewtwo, as we were kind of in range of this with my Dialga, so I expected the opponent to go straight for that one. And like this, I can even outspeed the opponent to the next charge move, go for my own Shadow Ball, and if they let this move go through, it's going to be an easy one-shot, as the Rayquaza is coming back in, and I can go for a CMP tie, which works out so well for me, as this is going to get the knockout against them, or the shield from the opponent, which I even take a little bit more As now, I'm going to have a shield advantage with Shaymin as well as a ton of energy here. As you're going to see the extra roll coming in, we might be able to get the final shield from the opponent, but now we're even gonna get the damage, and like this, we can just go for the full farmer with our Shaymin Sky form. Honestly, I really hope that they're going to give it some kind of better moves, and also I really hope that they buff Magical Leaf, because Magical Leaf right now is just not really doing it. Like, there were so many Pokemon this season that got Magical Leaf, and literally not a single one of them was useful with this move. And this is like a thing in general which I really want to see, that we're gonna see some more 3/4 turn fast moves that are going to get a little bit more play by getting better stats, because it's always such a commitment to have like such long fast moves, and right now, the meta is going to get dominated by both 2 as well as 1 turn fast moves at the current time, like Dragon Breath, Counter, as well as Shadow Claw. So it is just a little bit awkward there for something like a Shaymin with a 3 turn fast move. So I really hope that in the end they're going to try to tackle this problem, that basically all good moves are 1 or 2 turn. But we have to kind of hope for this. So here we're going to see now the opponent going to have a Snorlax swapping in, where we at least get some damage as well as a shield against. So I can let this move go through, and now it's time for our Shaymin to get a full farmland against the opponent here, as we are going to take this next move from the opponent. It's going to be the Body Slam. We have actually, I think, a triple Best Buddy Ribbon team here as well for me, which is kind of wild, because I do not use the buddy feature at all, which is the main issue for me as well with the current quest. I still don't have the first quest done for the Paldea adventure, because I just never interact with my buddy. But here it's going to actually come in clutch, kinda, as well as we of course have to best buddy our Dialga. If you don't have your Dialga best buddy for the Master League, you're doing something wrong. This is the most important best buddy. Now, honestly, the only really important best buddy in the game is Dialga for the Master League. Otherwise, you're going to just lose the mirror matchup, which is just way too common. But here we're gonna see that we can go for an Iron Head, gonna get the knockout, and win this game. Next opponent coming up, we're going to have a Groudon against us in Elite, which is not ideal, but at least here we're going to have Shaymin in the back for that. So we're going to swap out into our Mewtwo and take a look at this matchup here. It's going to be actually kind of interesting, as the opponent went into the Melmetal, which is actually a fairly decent answer for me. They're going to go for 1 Rock Slide, which is not going to do too much damage, but I can go for 1 Shadow Ball. But I don't think that the opponent expected me to be already at that much energy, as I can go for another Shadow Ball, and I think they just thought, oh yeah, this is a Side Strike. It is not. It was another Shadow Ball to just knock them out and win the switch advantage back, as well as we still have a ton of health left onto our Mewtwo. And I'm honestly thinking that I could have went for 2 Side Strikes against the opponent at this point. 1 Shadow Ball is going to get, yeah, definitely, I would have been able to go for 2 Side Strikes, which would have been so much better than just 1 Shadow Ball here, so mistake by me. But we're going to be able to shield up the opponent's move here, and now it's going to be Groudon against our Shaymin. And here is one of the issues where having the not fully XL variant of Shaymin really comes to hurt me, because if I had the fully XL variant, I would have been easily able to take 2 Fire Punches from the opponent's Groudon, but as you can see right now, this is not the case here, and sadly, I am not going to be able to survive the Mud Shot down here right now, which is actually so bad for me, as I'm now going to call the bait against the opponent, and they go for the Precious Blade. So yeah, if I went for the shield, I would have won. But of course, I expected the opponent to go for the Fire Punch there to bait out the shield, but they didn't, so that was my own mistake. But also, if my Shaymin just gets the last few power-ups, I'm going to be fine as well. I'm going to definitely try to do this. By the way, if you wonder, I always see like this, how do you have so many rare XL candies? I use quite a lot of premium passes for Go Battle League, which gives you around like a 75% chance, I think, for the premium track to get a rare XL candy for the second slot. So that's the easiest way at the current time to obtain those rare XL candies. And of course, as I'm a content creator, I kind of want to try to get as many of those so I can make some decent content on YouTube. This is the main reason for this one. I would not recommend it to you. It's just what I do, and that's how I get the rare XL candies, just for the people that ask, because I see it all the time. Here we're going to have the matchup against the Giratina. We're going to swap out into our own Dialga, and I make a huge mistake here. Shouldn't have went for the Draco Meteor. I should have just went for the Iron Head here, as the opponent going to use a shield. Now we are basically in such a bad spot, as they can just go ahead and go for the Omnius Wind. We're in such a bad spot, as I'm now have to go into my Mewtwo. I'm still going to reach a move, but they're going to have now so much energy against me that this is going to be a tough one. But actually, we're going to put them perfectly into range for just 1 fast move of our Shaymin to take this win, as the Shadow Ball is not going to knock us out, and we can move on into the next game. Rayquaza against Dialga. This is not ideal for us, but we're going to, no, actually kind of ideal for us, but we're going to see now the Giratina swapping in, which is if you had this matchup here right now in the level 40 Master League, which was the standard prior, so like the no XL variant, actually Giratina Altered is going to be able to win against Dialga in I think the one shield scenario or something, so which is kind of wild because we do super effective damage, they only do neutral damage, but they have Dragon Claw, which is kind of better, they have Shadow Claw, which is a better fast move, but here with now the XL buff is not the case anymore, but I'm going to opt to keep my energy basically on my Dialga, as well as I can just get some energy on my Mewtwo, which I feel like was the right play here at all, because I can just go ahead and go for a Side Strike against the opponent's Rayquaza, gonna get the shield advantage, as well as I can even go for another Side Strike here, which is going to get a ton of damage against the opponent, as now I will be able to go into my Dialga, just knock them out, I thought, but no, I'm actually going to go ahead and go into my Shaymin, because I expect my Shaymin to not be too good in the back. So like this, I can just take the charge moves against our Shaymin here, going to take the drops, and I can swap out into my Dialga, farming them all the way down, as they're going to swap in to their Fairy-type Pokemon here right now, which you can see it's going to be the Xerneas. They tried to catch a move, didn't work out, and like this, I can go for one Iron Head, but this game is not over yet, as one Moonblast is going to be all it takes to knock out our Shaymin, but we can just barely reach another charge move with our Dialga, going for the Iron Head, going for the knockout, and winning us this game. Next game coming up, we're going to have Dialga against Dialga again. This is going to be a neutral mirror, but here's basically where you need to go and have the best buddy ribbon, which we have. So you do the exact same amount of damage, and we take the exact same amount of damage as the opponent. But the thing here as well, I have to say, I basically won every single Dialga lead mirror in terms of charge move priority as far as I can see it, which of course is insanely lucky, but like this is one of the things that I also realized, and this is going to shift the game quite often. But actually my ideal scenario for how to deal with Dialga in the mirror would be just going for the Iron Head, getting the shield, and the opponent throws their Draco Meteor, and I can just farm down later on, but here right now we're going to be able to get the knockout against the opponent's Mewtwo, keeping our own Mewtwo pretty healthy, but of course they're going to have one of the worst possible answers in the back for us, which is going to be the Giratina. I can still go for one Side Strike to get the shield, and now I can try to go for a Shadow Ball, but my opponent most likely going to call this one, as now I'm going to use a shield, Omni's Wind coming through, and the opponent swaps into the Dialga, allowing me to go for another Side Strike, as I wouldn't have been able to farm down with my Shaymin. Getting the knockout here, I'm going to swap out, I still have a Side Strike stored. And now we're just going to have to try to get to a charge move here to get them lower into the Side Strike range. Side Strike does around like 50% health here, so I'm going to go for one Grass Knot, and hopefully that's going to put them into the yellow health, and it does. So now I can even get some extra damage with my fast move, definitely putting the opponent into a range where the Side Strike is going to be all it takes to knock them out. And this is going to be a good game. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have the Dragonite against our Dialga, which is fairly decent for us. I'm going to now swap out fairly late into my Mewtwo. That was definitely a mistake by me. I should have swapped out earlier. But honestly, I did 6 sets with this team back to back to back, and I think it was like one of the later games. So yeah, maybe just like honestly for me, I feel like after like 2-3 sets, I'm already like, I kind of would like to have a break from this game, but I kind of also want to do my content, so like that's why I mainly played afterwards. But I don't know, let me know in the comment section if it is anything like this for you as well, where you're like, okay, I played now for 2-3 sets, can I get a break? It's like kind of, yeah, I don't know, it's difficult to concentrate after a while, I feel, with Pokemon Go PvP, because you have to just keep track of everything, like the energy and anything like this. But here, let's take a look at our Shaymin going up against an Excadrill. We can take one Rock Slide. Don't think we would have been able to take another one even if we would have been fully XL, but at least here we're going to be able to go for the Grass Knot, get the shield from the opponent, and like this, I'm going to even get to another Grass Knot as I can use a shield, and I should be able to win CMP against the opponent as this is coming through, going to get the knockout against them, and we can now see the final Pokemon coming back in here with a Dragonite, allowing us to win this game with our, Dialga here. Final game coming up now afterwards, which is going to be actually fairly insane. As you're going to see right now, it's going to be wild. Horrible lead. Or is it? Nah, it's actually fine. But we're going to most likely just swap out again onto the Superpower here. As the Superpower is going to do not enough damage against us, but we're going to, we're actually going to be able to catch this move, which is really nice. And we're going to get out the Kyogre. Fairly bad for me because my entire other team is basically really good against Kyogre. Both my Dialga as well as my Shaymin is going to be fine against it. But at least I'm going to be able to get an damage lead here against the opponents. I went straight for another charge move. But also I already have my shield advantage, which might become clutch later on for my Shaymin. So let's take a look at this one. We're going to be able to just go for a shield here onto the Origin Pulse, which would have done around like 60%, I would imagine. So now it's going to look really good for us, at least I thought, but we're actually going to encounter now a Melmetal. And this is basically game over. like MEWeedle is going to be able to completely counter me, but then the opponent decides to swap out into their Dragonite, allowing me to go for a charge move here, where I was like, that's a little bit weird, and this is going to allow us to get the final shield from the opponent, as well as I can use my shield here, forcing the opponent to basically go for a superpower later on. And I can go for the Iron Head here before the opponent can get to a superpower, so this is going to do some decent damage against them. It does not put them really into range yet for anything that my Shaymin has, because everything is going to be resisted. But now they're going to go for the superpower, debuff their own defense, and is the Seed Flare enough to knock them out? Is the final Seed Flare all it takes? It is, and we're going to be able to win the final game for today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.